that we get it moving forward, although Abyss Pearl maybe not the most KO-heavy maps to prove it. Lotus would have really been the chance to show that if they had put in the work.
Would have been nice. But the other thing that would have been nice would be a decent buy, which sadly for Trace they're not getting here. We do have at least Fang Fang still sitting towards the Phantom, still has the ult there, still has a little bit to play with. Lau King as well, going to have the Vandal, so there's a little bit of punch to this. I'd like to see them try and be proactive here. You've got a round where you're going to be trying to play around these hero rifles, the remains of that previous round. Let's see if we can bring it in. But already it looks like G2 is expecting this after the timeout. Very deep default.
I like this though from Trace because they show the extra presence towards A, but very quickly Fang Fang and Lau King moved over into front B, looking to trap into sand. Now unfortunately, G2 read that like a book, so they're now going into the very absent A site.
Yeah, and you're going to get a little spot here. Jorgamo's hopefully going to find a corner to play. What on earth? Jorgamo.
He's alive?
Yeah, I don't know how you're getting away with that. I really don't. Jor just gets away with daylight robbery to keep his life on 40 HP. But now, Trace can now start flooding over here. They can put bodies on the side. This cross is not secure. It is certainly not safe. It's going to be punished already. A 2-for-1 trade out. Kai absolutely unleashing from the back of the site. A 2v3. And Trent now has to try and make his way over. Stunning from Trace. And a bit of a fumble it felt from Jorg there.
Yeah, honestly, like that entry sort of collapsed. Jog has to go out without really creating any space for the team. And then Trace just boxed G2 up in tree. They're ready to come out through Link. They've got players bunkering down on site and even committing the Fatal to it. Even with Sheriffs in hand, it doesn't matter. They're winning the round.
Look at this again.
It's just the quick calls coming in too, right? That smoke comes down, so how are G2 getting out of there? They've sort of lost the Yoru. He's way in the back line now. It's very awkward for them. You can see G2 are not thrilled with what just went down.
That's a rough one to lose. And that's a confidence builder here for Trace going forward. This looks like a very explosive piece towards that B site. I don't think you're getting out of this alive. Wait, they've managed to hold it at the door. Jorgamo, though, from the back line, going to take away 2. This is his site already. Maybe a third. Yeah, it's a third. He's going to make up for the last round by basically getting you another. Jorgamo is ripping them to shreds. 1 away from the ace. And a stark reminder of what that man can do. The stars don't even need to align. He can make it all himself. And it's a formality at the end. Maybe you're going to pull off a miracle here? Prove me wrong.
I'll tell you what, it is nice to see Jog back on the big stage. But Lau King with so much to do against him. Trent's got his number right on the side. That'll tie things back up for G2.
Oh, what a round. Give me that again. Give me that again.
It was so nice as well, right? Because you've got, you know, the jumping in, going down with a, what was there, a judge trying to run him down in Jonah P's hands, then the double flash, Jaw's behind it. By the way, Jaw then, with a paranoia going up towards heaven and the ultimate going into Link, takes the fight into Waterfall. Then as soon as Link opens up, he's flashing in there because he knows that A player is going to be flooding in.
You love to see that. That's a bit of magic from the man, but it's broken the money of Trace, and it feels like they get scrappier in these rounds and take higher risks, which is fine. This is rough. Actually, it's Valorant to go down. Hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. This positioning is wild. They have to evacuate. They have to pull the cord on that. That felt too threatening over towards Rubble. They had to pull away. Maybe to hold this default a second longer, try and cool down the jets of Trace here.
Yeah, a bit of a mess there. I think Valen got caught by the C's and the nade combo, just trying to blitz out into the open. But now, because Trace are so heavily stacked towards C, they're expecting G2 to move over there. They have a little info, so Byung-K has got to step forward into front B. It's being held, and somehow he's winning that fight. That's the spike and spawn.
Uh-oh. Trent. And hold on, he didn't get stunned here. Jorgamo actually has more of a fair fight than he would have wanted. This is really messy. What is going on here? Trace being super slippery about this, and he has to get out of dodge. It's a bit of a ruse because they're still heading towards A. The bulk of G2 is still working, and somehow it feels like they've accidentally tripped into the right outcome.
Yeah, G2, they want to buy some time, I think, for Jaw to rotate back over, but look at this pit going down. Jonah P playing right up in the front of it, too.
Oh. Reveal. Oh, baby! Jonah P gonna get the wind knocked out of him on that. Jorgamo is now making it back towards this A site. They're not taking any chances on this. Ult gonna come on, but it's still gonna be Leaf. He's got the shorty, and he's ready for it. Noting Kai on the way through, gets a reload, and slips a little further back. Leaf is playing this really well, but he does get found. It's all on Jaw. And again, it feels like almost an impossible situation, and they're running ults here. And Byung-K was so ready. Trace in these rounds are scrappy, and it works for them. I can't believe we're seeing this now back to back. I mean, Trent having an absolute stinker of a round there.
Yeah.
Jorgamo on the other side of the map. this feels really out of sorts for the G2 I expected.
Oh no, and here you see it,
man.
right? Teleporting directly into the C's nade. G2 hadn't shown that fast of a look towards Rebel, so he thought he could get away with it. But then here in mid, what's going on with that? You hear the pit go down towards stairs, so you're expecting the aggro against a team that's down in numbers. I think Trace just would have had G2's number there. Even the shorty coming out at the end was nice, but he gets taken down. Then there's a paranoia making it impossible for Jaw to play the round.
Now, this is kind of what I wanted out of this game, though, because we do have a timeout now coming for G2, right? We've got a super scrappy Trace. Now, they're willing to get kind of dirty in these rounds. They're willing to take these aggressive fights. They're willing to scrap, almost over-rotate at times, like really take the bait almost, and it's working. I love that. I'd like to see them find stability in a gun round or two, because it feels like, hey, let's pick up the pace. Now we've got Sheriffs. Let's, go for these crazier fights. I'd love to see them find some stability. I'm a little surprised at G2 being as volatile as they are. We've seen, a bailout round from Jorg, right? That's great. That gets you 4 kills. We love one of those. But beyond that, did they look this stable in your mind? This wasn't a high map in their veto, right? I think they played it once.
Yeah, they played it up against a
Cloud
C9
9 or something, right?
It looks really good then, to be fair.
But it's certainly not high up in their veto. This is opening up for that conversation that if Trace can find stability here, they've already forced a timeout of G2. Maybe we get a game. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm hoping. I'm praying.
When you're winning ecos like that, you've got that sort of surprise factor. And honestly, when I think about G2 as a team, I think they do much better in controlled round states, right? When they've got time for VALORANT to sort of figure out what's going down. It's usually when teams are sort of blowing up the pace right from the get-go that they can run into some trouble.
Okay, well, let's see what G2 can kind of do with the similar hand that Trace was dealt not too long ago. A broken purchase, Stingers coming out, a Guardian or two, and a Sheriff. Kai needs to play this composed. He's got a lot of pressure on his...
Okay, full stun. No problem.
Yeah, it's all good. No sweat. The wall goes up. We've got control. There's no problems here. G2 not getting away with anything they want in this round.
The half buy for them just completely falls apart. The oldest trick in the book, half buy, so you force into the B site, and Trace were absolutely ready for it. Actually, I think I really like how Trace have been sort of controlling with the early fights towards Rebel, being able to break Baby Door, go into Link, sort of move back and forth between the B and A sites. It's caused a lot of problems for G2, even on their bigger buy rounds.
No fuel.
Do they get a little bit of a read on this? It's gone real quiet on the rest of the map. Now there's going to be this explosive approach towards C. Again, high pressure, high tempo, stunning, clear. G2 just shifted gears, showing some real pedigree on this one. Supplant's going to be in.
And Jonah P has the Rolling Thunder in the post plant. Trace have to sort of bait that out somehow, but I'm not sure they have the utility to do it outside of the paranoia.
This pivot to the C side was absolutely heaven sent for G2. It's still rough though, but it is that ult with Jonah P, right? That's the backbone to this round.
And Trent's just gonna be a little rat on site, playing off this perfectly.
Yeah, why not? But a very early investment of the ult, and now hold on. This may not go the way they wanted. Leaf! Stunning from him. 2 quick kills, and the ult in the end does find the impact they needed, and G2 stabilize.
Beautiful, beautiful post plant coming through from G2. Again, a messy round at the start, but I think they've really pinpointed that C is going to be the weakness for Trace consistently. When they've been able to get onto that side, it's not been an issue. I also think the C anchors from Trace have played it the same way every round. They play back in bend, and then they push up onto top site and try to look down on you when you come through the wall. And G2 have been very successful at picking off that player.
And now for a team that we've kind of given the credit of being quite a thinking man's team at times, I want to see if Trace can adapt to that. Do they now start thinking about this? Do they have something in mind how they want to approach it? Because for G2, they can kind of set and paint the scene however they want. Early, we've got pressure. Hold on. Does this man get to live? No, he does not. G2 draw first blood. They take over Rubble control, and they've already put a problem towards that A site.
Now, Trace are still in the area. 3 players ready to go with a delayed refight for them. Putting up the wall right now to see if G2 overextend into that space. But G2, it's very rare they'll just get a pick and over-accelerate into you. And especially after, I think, what they remember of the pistol round with that second layer of fighting. I think G2 were almost waiting for Trace to play their hand or overplay it even.
And it's a very fair shout, right? That pause. You get a man advantage, just pause for a second, see if maybe Trace do try and get that pick back. It would be the death of them if they do. Now, I kind of like that they pushed out towards Mound on the C site. You've got an early warning system there. Maybe it's a little tricky for Heybei, obviously, on the Viper, but that's fine. I don't mind it. But still, it allows them this security to keep 2 players on this A site, at least.
But you think about it, it's when those individual players from Trace have pushed forward, whether that was Bianca into front B or whatnot, they found success. Here, a little 1-2 punch setup. Jonah P.
Hold on.
Finding 2 kills.
He's made something out of it. It ain't over yet. but it's a long rotation for Hebe. The first on the site will be Bianca. He's gonna get it at least.
Silent drop.
Yeah, they have no idea. Hold on. He's close enough. Hold on, he's got one. A 1v2. Hebe, have you got it in ya? Have you got the capability to pull this one off? Trent, though, again in the post plant here. Down a little low, but that's fine. Leaf the one to really do the damage before first attempt made. Doesn't care. He's gonna have to care. Yeah, that's gonna force you off, but he's actually made this. Trent was just like, hell, I'll die for this one. No worries. Okay, all good. G2. I'll do a little bit
You know
better
what?
here.
I respect it. I respect it. It takes some guts to get up there and intentionally die to the molly to get the timing on the defuse.
Bless him. I mean, they are making G2 work for this. We are seeing that throughout, but I do have to give credit here to G2. That nice pause of the tempo reset, still effective trading towards tree. Like, they're managing these fires that keep breaking out over this map.
It's also G2 realizing that they're not just supposed to instantly fight into rubble. They wait out that Seasonade combo, then re-clear it. Do well with Low King, but once again, it'll be that same volley of utility sent by Trace. This time, though, on the light buy, Almo's getting right up in it.
One's clearing this so far. He's got a pocket to play from. The Prowler gonna still note attendance here, but it's Hebe on the other side playing further forward. I thought he had a shot on that one. Not to be, Valen clears through diligently. Next in line, Kai. Hard to make the Sheriff's work here, and unfortunately the worst target to find out in the pack. So he has to respect this and back away. This looks solid from G2.
Yeah, we'll see if they can keep that going up in the post plant, but the early chip damage down. Feel a little bit confident. G2 played pretty heavily sight in these post plants. It's a little bit different. Usually we see them fighting more aggressively. This time making sure there aren't going to be any flanks coming in, anything like that. They know that Trace have shown quite a lot of flank looks domestically, and especially on the eco round that could be coming in.
I'd quite like them to revisit that almost, kind of lean back a little heavier on trying to pressure those backlines, because Leaf, I know it's only Sheriffs and they're like, you know, barely half HP, but he looks kind of stylish with what he's doing here. Just farming them up. Why not? Get some confidence builders. Work towards the ult. Pretty close.
You know, I don't know if Leaf is lacking in confidence necessarily.
That's a fair point.
This guy was tearing it up in America. Is really the standout player for G2. Kind of stealing the show a bit from Jogamo, because obviously like the hype was Jogamo's coming into G2. This is like the most stacked roster we've ever seen on paper, but in reality it has been Leaf, whether he's on the Viper, perma-locking in the chamber, just dominating servers.
We do have a couple ults starting to hit here as well. There's not two, I mean, you've got one away from Kai's there, you've got two away from Fung Funks, but on the other side, you're looking at Trent having theirs.
Yep.
And I'm just kind of like waiting to see if they have something in mind with this for G2. I'm still waiting to see at least one good Teo ult.
Yeah, I mean,
didn't feel like I've had many of those, but, you know, I like this stack. I like the proactive approach towards B as well. This may be the adjustment for this C lean that we've seen consistently coming out. A proactive and an aggressive Kai to kick things off. And with Trent gone, it does remove away a lot of that utility late round that G2 would have loved to have had.
I love how mobile Trace are here too. After they get the first pick, they're actually kind of abandoning the C site. Very happy to play retake with that. You look at the Nightfall, you look at the Vise ult. Sure, you can play that retake. Bolstering up that A defense, because Bianca on his own with the Odin, maybe not the best, but if you can play that sort of crossfire, that bait and switch setup with Fung Fung backstairs, you're going to be in a great spot.
We have the Leaf is going looking.
Toxins going up.
I could see a world where Valen tries to get the ult online here too, just to blow up the round in the post plant.
There we go. Plant gonna come down, and the ult now primed. Kai
Spike planted.
waiting to instigate this retake.
You could even try to dodge the Visal with it.
And I love the deep smoke coming down from Lau King as well, kind of creating that pressure through towards door. It kind of makes them fight forward, which they're willing to do. It's G2, they want a bit of aggression, but it's Leaf to try and draw the blood, but it's a 2-for-1 trade out. Trace have the numbers, and they have the round. They manipulated G2 from start to end in this.
That was just gorgeous. Had all the ults they needed to go in on that retake, or flooding in from every single lane into the site. G2 were not ready for that at all.
I'm impressed with Trace. I really am.
Genuinely. This is also like defense side Lotus. They put up 5 already. Still one more left to play.
And this is G2. Can we just put in context here how good G2 have looked? They have looked outrageous coming into this. The new meta suiting them well, the map pool looking good. Yeah, they had their permaban, but that's fine. Everything else looked brilliant. I want to see them look dominant here. This was the best opportunity, though, for Trace, I would say. This Lotus map pick was always going to be there. This could completely change. But if anything, it's shown that they can draw blood on G2, but they have to keep it going. G2 now sitting at 6-5, still with the lead. Hebe under pressure early, and that pressure is coming fast.
Yeah, a little bit of a delayed stun there with Valorant's TP to see if they can catch that early aggro. Well played by Hebe to not overextend, but he's in a whole heap of trouble now.
Certainly is. TP gets taken. Valon's in there. No idea! Perfect pinch, perfect use of the ult. I wanted it, I get it! Oh, but they're fighting back! Trace! They don't care! They just barrel into the site and bring it back to a 2v2. No right to do that, but somehow make it happen. And now G2 want that plant. They want the time on their side. Some advantage. Leaf is prowling, patrolling in the ult himself. Bianca praying that some of this spray works. They're going to walk this. They're absolutely going to walk this. Oh my god, that was so close. Trent's the one to get it in now. Just one man against the two. A brutal ultra walk in. Leaf, what are we up to? That drops the pit. Suddenly this becomes so much more doable, and Trent left in a world of trouble. The cross ain't pretty, and this is now getting messy. This is looking like composure's on the line. We've got the utility coming out, and the pressure is there! Trent goes down! Unbelievable, but does he have the time? Yeah, he does! He absolutely does! That is gonna look close, but I swear to you, he's got this one.
No, he doesn't!
No, he doesn't! I lied!
No, he doesn't!
G2 just about getting away with it! Bloody hell!
Unbelievable. He was on a tear too, sprinting back towards spawn. Wins the fight, but can't secure the round. And I mean, look, this started off beautifully for G2, going for the fight in the back, but to win it like that makes you sit on the edge of your seat going into the second half.
Had it with your old phone? We've got you. At Verizon, trade in any old phone for iPhone 16 Pro on us on any plan. And get iPad and Apple Watch Series 10, all three on us. That's up to $2,000 in value. Only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
She loves me. She loves me not. She loves me.
I could tell from the nights that we argue. You don't need me like I need you. I'm the lamb to your shepherd. I follow you. I know that you count your sins. Late nights and you sleep like it. While I just wait like the fool I am. Trinkets in the contraband. Strange gifts from a stranger's hand. Why the hell are you lying? Trinkets in the contraband.
5-7. Is it enough? G2 were pressured here. They do come out at least with a scoreline lead, right? They've got a couple rounds to play with here, but these were really volatile rounds, right? These were up and down the whole way through.
Especially considering that 2 of those rounds Trace got were just on ecos. Half buys, Sheriff somehow still winning out here. Trace now moving on to the attack side of things, but G2 can often be more deadly on the defense side than on the attack. We'll see how it starts, because already G2 are ready to fight early into this A side.
Oh, that is indicative, isn't it? Look how deep that util goes. Jorg straight up just towards rubble now. Gonna be just sitting towards this as long as he fancies.
Valen just trying to see if he can get some shots through this one way, but he's kind of sticking out in that area for now. Notice that Jonah P has rotated over on the B side and didn't use stun in that opening volley. So if Trace try to exec into C, that could be every single player stunned up and ready to fall to this high-low setup G2 have going.
Are they trying to contact in on this? Like, there we go, okay. They were real close on that smoke, and they do get to beat the utility, so managing to make it towards that C side. Hebe's punished Jorg on the other side of the map. Jorg was over there for a long old time. Now, I don't think this is going to pull anyone away. They've had almost too much success towards this C site. There's that stun, and there's going to be almost a pre-take here. Leaf walks in, knocks down the door. The plant's in, but what does that matter? Hebe, the last one to try and do anything, and he was noted a million miles away. Yeah, he took down Jorgamo, but you ain't going to get this round. Valorant going to be sitting on this defuse, and he's dealt with. Trent's there, G2. Somehow make that look easy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Leaf is the player to watch in this event. Man is on an absolute tear. I think he's, 16-7 right now on his opening map. And G2 know, right? As soon as Hebe hit that door over towards A, look, they're down in numbers, but we have a 4v4 on site right now. It's time to go, go, go. And it worked perfectly for them.
Yeah, this just unbelievable. Leaf just, in any of these situations, he looks so clean with it. I don't understand.
I feel like Valorant right now is just a mini game where it's trying to get timings through smokes as often as possible. At least finding them right now.
That's got to feel so good to pick up the pistol in that fashion as well. After such a, I don't want to say muddy first half, but it was pretty, volatile, right? Very much up in the air. Some messy-ish rounds coming down to get a nice, clean start to things. Got to feel good. That should open up the gateway for a couple more rounds here as well. We've got the Stingers out, we've got the Outlaws coming out, Guardians, bits and bobs, and nothing invested from Trace. So, hey, if they can get a plant, they get a kill or two. Brilliant. I like the idea. Oh, look at this crunch. That's so well made, so well crafted. And it does put Valen in a little bit of a predicament, but that's the spike. So they do need to go on a recovery mission, and Valen's got to play this right. He doesn't want to fall here. Get overwhelmed, doesn't, keeps composed the whole way through. Sadly, it feels like kind of a bit of a cursed chalice. I like this from Kai, though.
Yeah, Kai's the guy that could just blow this open. G2 have no idea he's on the way. Trent turning around at the exact right time. You gotta be kidding me. And yeah, we're pushing through smokes, but at the end of the day, G2 just high-rolling on luck there and taking down Trace, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely nat 20ing the whole way through. This is nice from G2. I like this already, seeing what they're coming through with. There was a little bit of danger. I want to talk about what Trace did with that nice crunch towards Waterfall there. There was so much threat towards that, which they were able to navigate nicely. Valen just impossible to pin down, super slippery towards CT, keeping them guessing, and that spike being dropped where it was just felt like that poison chalice. Whoever touched it just met that end.
You just instantly go down. We're trying to throw smokes and whatever. It's not going to work. Yeah. Trace now, though, they've got to bounce back into this round. Otherwise, it is falling apart. And importantly, with buying a few pistols there for Trace, they've got 2 players on regen shields coming in. There's an Outlaw that stuck around. So I don't know if I love Trace forcing 5 rifles here instead of a Guardian heavy.
It could be an issue. Let's see if it becomes one. That's yet to be decided. Right.
Not ready yet. Good hit.
Not the one to get punished yet, but he knows that there's pressure now into the backline. Seeing that Util and Jorgamo just caught sleeping, they were way deeper than he expected. Yeah. That's the site open.
He got the shot on Feng Feng, but heavy armor only down to 10 HP. Now this Ray's playing super aggressively up towards Heaven.
10 HP. He's going for this on 10 HP.
And fully cleared out as well, I don't know.
I mean,
okay.
I'll shut my mouth. I'll shut my goddamn mouth. I'm so sorry. Play where you want with your 10 HP. Get aggressive.
I wasn't familiar with this game.
And now we are. It is getting down to that kind of, deeper end of the round. Valen's position could still get the pressure going, but you can hear that clock ticking. Time is running low, and the 10 HP demon is still striking. Valen I think he's trying to achieve maximum damage at this point if he can. Take away these rifles, because the round isn't going to be really going his way anymore. Bloody hell! What on earth is that man made of?
Steel? I don't know. The bro's unkillable. He was on 10 HP for 3 different fights.
Whole time. What on earth? Look at this.
Oh, that was even a refight after he'd been tagged. Getting the kill on Jog.
Just didn't care.
Fair play.
I guess if you just hit the headshot, what does it matter?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, look at this guy, just light work for him. He's so cool under it. Okay, Trent's got any others nearby. Nothing massive here.
Yeah, just Feng Feng on the other side.
Okay, nothing they can bank on straight away, but this is the round we want to be really focusing on, right? The buys coming out both teams, looking in a much better position. Real quick tempo coming out here too.
G2 sort of showing this ultimate, going for a refight.
Okay, and they're trying to go for this one, but do they clear it diligently? Yeah, they do. Trent's on the case. quick double picked up. That's Fung gone, that's Lauking gone. That's some big players removed from this. You've lost the ult. You've lost your smokes, kinda. You're left down with Kai, Hebe, and Bianca. This is not an easy round anymore.
Yeah, especially with Leaf taking that forward position on B. These players are boxed into the A site. You either have to walk into Jog with no HP, and yeah, not going to work. Or you walk into an Odin, or there's a flank coming in. There's just nothing you can do correctly in this round. It's all falling to pieces.
Yeah, no good outcome. There's no good death. There's no good death. There's no nice way to go here. It just feels inevitable. Oh man, this is horrible.
Blinded, he's flanked. Yeah.
Yeah, that was beautiful from G2 though. I was a little bit worried about that ult initially, but then the follow-up util coming out from Trent was stunning.
Absolutely. And to me, the thing that's really interesting about watching how G2 structure their defensive sides is how they'll sort of play similar rounds back to back. You think to the pistol in round 2, they showed 2 very active looks towards the A site. Then round 3, it's nobody really on A, it's just the Yoru, and they're pushing out through C. So this round, they only show the Yoru at the start, and it comes with that refight that Tracers aren't expecting at all.
Oh my god!
10 rounds, you can see the smile starting to break out. They've made it to double digits, they forced the timeout for Trace. That's kind of when you start knowing you got him on the ropes a little, right? That was the big round, right? That could have been a pivot round in my mind, and you literally have Trent just running through him. There was nothing that they could do about it. By the time they got out of that massacre, they were down to 3 and half of them were half HP. So now let's kind of like take pause here. We were kind of, I was holding G2 to very high standards, I think, because they are coming in as one of the teams that a lot of people were tipped to look the best, at least in the start of the year. A lot of people were really rating them. The start of this half, they're now living up to that a little more in my mind. The first half was still very much anyone's game, I felt. Trace very much in touch here, but coming back in, G2 look way more in control.
Yeah, again, G2 on defense is just a different beast. They're so good at controlling rounds, but I want to see what the pivot is from Trace coming in, because I think the big thing they have to be concerned about is how Jonah P just holds onto his stun so frequently for those refights. That came into play with the Teo ult in that last round as well, so Trace needs to do maybe a better job of not overcommitting into space and trying to see if they can maybe bait out that ability. Otherwise, they're going to keep running into these sort of delayed trap pieces that G2 like to go for.
Spot on. Bit of a split to start with, however.
See, the irony is they show the stun immediately here because they're not actually playing on this side of the map. And so now Trace come out of that timeout, they don't really have that space over towards A. And now they're walking into a potential trap with that double flank coming out through C.
I am worried about the flank, and I'm so glad we're seeing G2 explore this. I kind of wanted Trace to do it, but on the hunt here, I'm just going to put that in the pocket of Trent. Lovely. That's a man on the side, man to the good. And now you can see if that post plant holds, but this flank is still on the way.
It's the flank of Jonah P over on A. Those 2 fights are what could get G2 back into the round. First one goes their way, second one doesn't. Trace still with a great chance here.
Yeah, and Jorgamo's now in no man's land. He's a million miles out from this one, but he's going to get through back by door. They've kind of split over towards that blue room, trying to take over some security towards CT. Trace almost exchanging paces here, but G2 do need to start going. They see this get moving. Jorgamo going to take that step, start getting towards the site. Hey, baby, in a problem. We're starting to see them really heat up here. Trace, it's getting messy again, and they win out. That pivot to B could have gone absolutely topsy-turvy the whole way through. There were so many opportunities for G2 to, I don't know, turn the screws a little more, but somehow, some way, Trace win out in so many of those situations.
Fung was just an absolute hunter here. Heat-guided missile to take out Trent at the start of the round, but really it was this shot onto Jonah P from Hebe. It turns into a 3K for him. But it also just opens up that extra angle into sight on the post plant. That was just too much for John Valen to deal with.
A little frustration, but a good step for Trace though. Get back in this game a bit more. Fung's got to wake up a touch there. Almost got a touch. Easy, Tiger. But it does at least allow the ults to start coming through here. That's going to facilitate Jorgamo to get his. That's now ready if necessary.
Sort of tempting the space right now. Again, there still is that stun ready to go, but G2 often will play a little bit softer towards this space. You see Jaw as a TP ready towards stairs. Decided to fake that one and send another one back into the site instead. G2 are going to try and hold on to Tree in this post, or in this actual site hold once Jaw leaves the area, but we'll see if Young K can actually find him here. Defense wall goes up. Not playing right on the other side, takes his timing through. That is perfect. He gets his kill, and he's out.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was dreaming of happening. Now going back in with the ult as well. He wants more. This man's hungry for it. He's going to see so much. That's everything you dreamed of. Jorgamo, nothing short of divine intervention could save Trace now, and maybe they're going to get it, but it's Trent. Take away Hebe, and Jorgamo in the back line is going to, again, keep them crunched here. Trent's the one to kill him, but it's Jorgamo seeing all of them as well. Fung's gone, even just one alive. A 1v3 required. No easy task, no spike. They're ready for him.
He's ulting for it.
They're trying to block.
But he only has 20 seconds. He still has to fight these players.
He has to go back for this, and they're waiting patiently. G2, all too aware of the plan.
That's exactly what they needed for that A fight right there. Jaw taking this timing. Again, Valorant is just a game where you push through the smoke on a timing, and if you get the kill, you win the round. It's exactly what it meant for Jaw right there. And then having the ultimate as well to, again, just have full information of what Trace were doing on the map. So they can get those walls starting to close in.
It just feels like this whole map is closing in here for Trace. It's starting to capitulate a little under pressure. 11 rounds now for G2. This was your chance, boys. If you wanted to make a go of this one, this was the stand. Fall a little short, looking a little desperate there though, Val, and Leaf going down. I'm a little surprised, but Trent is still trying to keep this competitive.
Jonah P is really trying to bust a move over to that C side as the A-Lurk again finds the kill. Jonah P blinded up, can't hear anything. He really needed to take a timing into the site, but now all eyes fall onto Trent here. That'll be the first one, and still no spike planted.
This could be a monstrous round for Trent. He still has util. He has a nice bit of positioning to play from.
2 flashes on Jonah P as well. Right now, Trace just buying time so that Hebe could actually regroup with the team. And the whole while, G2 are concerned that that flank could still be coming in.
Trent take this moment. This big opportunity here. Smoked off though, here. Considering the util. Ult gonna come down, denies plant on this. And he does get a little closer off the flash coming out from Jonah P. Trent is now very close by and they have no idea. Trent is just a step away.
Well, they only have a pixel to plant with.
They have so little. And the jump spot, very diligent from Bianca there to double check on this. Trent is so close. He's looking for a kill. He's looking for a pixel out of place and he's being given nothing. But Trace looking hesitant, trying to walk through the ult. They get the reward. Jonah P goes down, leaving just Trent alive. But this man looked good, but it's not good enough. Lao King's there. And even in all that hesitation, they keep their cool and stay in this game.
Hebe took a beautiful timing there. He heard one player reloading, so knew he had a 1v1 on site. Wins that one and secures the round, because that was so chaotic. I mean, the Viper's pit on site. Don't forget, he also found that kill on the A side of the map. But there you go, here's that reload. And doesn't waste a moment with it.
Okay. Step by step, they've broken the money now, but we do have an ult here for G2. If you've got anything creative to bring out, just to checkmate to 12. Maybe go for a bit of it, let's see. Trace, you're gonna give us a game here. Big gateway round for them. Jorgamo would be the first to be challenged. He's trying to stick around on this one, at least for a moment longer, and you can see why. Valen there, and nothing to really force him off this. Trace, what's going on? You've just lost 2 players. You haven't made it past the starting blocks.
It's just a mess, and with where Fengfeng's body dropped, Valen now has a rifle in hand. Trace are still spread apart. I mean, if they want a way back in this round, they almost need to ask Hebe, hey, can you go get a kill over on A side again? Do something.
Those steps are pretty useful, I guess, but there's still obviously the threat of Leaf here, but he only has that frenzy, so maybe they can start building towards this A site.
If anything, falling back there sets up G2 to win this round even more, because now you've got a potential crossfire going from stairs and out of baby. G2 are trying to play as together as possible here to abuse the fact they've got numbers.
This is so goddamn tense, though. Trent here, waiting. Angle's good, shots better. Still controlling the spike is there! Trent! Back-to-back impact! Leaving just one alive! G2 with a flawless round to get to 12.
Yeah, you'd think G2 got bored with Trace winning all those ecos in the first half. Coming in here with a fire under them. I mean, Trent absolutely popping off with the Sheriff. Started off great with that C fight as well. Not sure what happened with Fengfeng dropping off of that perch from him, but that just cooked the round completely.
Starting to show a little bit more of that pedigree there, that potential with G2. Looking deadly. And they near on have the full hand of ults as well to depend on, barring Jorgamos. They've got everything they need. A broken buy for Trace, but hey, this is what happens when you play up against some of the best in the world here. You got to deliver where it matters. Trent, very deep with the utility. This map feels tiny for Trace.
Trace, they've got the Visol to play with, but Jaw's trying to get right up in their face. He's going for a fight.
Oh, this man's looking nasty. This is the moment the Jorgo seems to shine. How's he getting out of here? How is trying to live still? What is this bloodbath we are witnessing? Jonah P, he fancies a go at it. This is a mental round.
Q Rocket Man as Funk Funk goes flying into the air. G2 are still hanging around though. They're still fighting for this space beyond K and Fung Fung. We're gonna take them down and open up this site.
Force them back into place, force them to heal a little. That's too far. G2 wants to remember there's some fire with these Trace boys.
Look at Leap though,
Oh,
hanging
God.
out here. He gets one, he gets two, and he's still looking for more.
Unbelievable from Leaf. And even in the back of his mind, he read it right. He buys the time, he reads around, and Kai from high hopes. So what could
30
be a
seconds
corner
left.
with a shorty in it, Leaf?
25 seconds.
Oh, just that taste of potential for Trace there. Maybe the game could have continued, but Leaf, I think, might have crushed this one. Look at the spike, and Kai has to try and fight. He does. 13 seconds, you gotta go now, Kai. It's game on. Oh, no! Heartbreak for Kai, and composure for Valen. 13-8.
Leaf is just an animal in the server. What a beast! Taking down 3 there. The round was completely lost from G2, but he keeps his head high and carries it through.
Water? Why'd you say it like that? Water. How do you guys say water? Water. I say it with a D as well. Water, water, water. Can I get a bottle of water? Water. Can I get a water? Water. Can I get a water? Can I get a water? Dude, I feel bad for our voice comms editing. We're just stupid.
And I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again.
Anytime is a good time for multi-asset allocation funds. Invest in a mix of
I'm standing here right now with Josh of G2. Now, the boys look very calm. They look very steady on stage. I've heard many coaches say that, you know, high emotions, whether good or bad, can sometimes massively impact judgment. I wanted to ask how that, you know, balance, that calmness on stage is able to help G2, especially during rounds that look like at first it might not be going your way, and then you guys manage to turn it around.
Well, as a coach, you always want to get like a temperature check on your players, and knowing that this is the first game on stage in front of a massive crowd, like I knew like energy is not going to be an issue, and it's more about being calm. So the advice that I've been giving is just, hey, let's be calm, let's have like a fighter's mentality when things go wrong, and let's just correctly diagnose problems, just solve it. It's just another day in the, you know, another day in the office, right? We just take care of business.
Another day in the office in Thailand this time around. Well, good luck to you guys.
I am so glad Josh RT was calm through that map, because me, Achilles, and Mimi were not. We were screaming because what was going on, especially in that final round.
Final round was absolutely absurd. The way the 1v1 goes down, the steal, I don't know. It was crazy.
It was muddy throughout. There was some crazy moments on both sides, some crazy clutches. Very limited actual like full rifle rounds from both of these teams because of how back and forth it was. But it was certainly entertaining, if nothing else.
It was super entertaining. So let's revisit some of those entertaining rounds, around 4 and 12.
Yeah, I think that G2, these were some of the rounds that highlighted what their game plan was going in. You're playing against a Vice comp. The strength is how powerful that Yoru clone is. Here, baits out all of the utility, then G2 goes into a late execute, Trace tries to hard anchor, they lose a couple critical gunfights, and, well, the round falls apart for them. And I think we saw that game plan manifest in a few of these rounds for G2. But the issue was, in the late rounds, like you said, Seth, things were getting muddy. G2 had to rely on their individualism, on players stepping up to go for individual clutches quite a lot, but they were able to do so and still win out these rounds, even if it wasn't the most beautiful gameplay.
Yeah, but I like the ideas that they're bringing to the table with this composition. That play here at the very beginning in particular, kind of using that Armageddon as cover for Val and then TP into the site, gets that backstab. Things get very wonky throughout, and it nearly goes the way of Trace here at the end to make it a 6-6 half, but just narrowly not enough time to be able to get that defuse off. But so while there's some things to tighten up for sure, I like the direction, the creativity that's being brought forward here by G2.
But for Trace, this was a tough one because they were really struggling in the even rifle rounds, right? They had a lot of situations where they were in man-up situations and players made individual mistakes, got caught out of position. G2 capitalized and they kept on losing those key rounds, and what was at times a winnable game kind of snowballed out because of these late rounds.
Unless Jogomo was alive, because when he was alive, it was always winnable. Let's take a look at this in the Verizon high-speed moment. Right off the bat as well, he had some crazy moments settling this match.
Yeah, and this is off the back of kind of a failed entry attempt that had happened over at A, but John just kind of shrugs that off. He botched it over on that A side, and he just says, right, I'm gonna go ahead and break open this site. Gets a gorgeous flash into the TP to just go ahead and absolutely just assassinate everybody. Gets himself the 4K. Can't get the ace. The crowd was chanting for it, but unfortunately, shut down there by Trace, but he certainly got G2 the round win.
You saw in the opening tease, the Trace players were talking about how impressed they were with Jogomo when he went on his champs run, when he was playing the Raze. He was taking over games constantly then. But that wasn't the case in this match, or really much of this season at all. Playing the Yoru, he has to be a lot more sacrificial, take risks on teleports like that. And sometimes it looks amazing, like it did in that round, and other times he's just dying early on. But that's the territory of this read that G2 is leaning into.
Yeah, and I think that it's still just a huge boon, because the biggest thing about Jog being the one to make these plays is that he never gets bothered when it doesn't go his way or when he messes something up mechanically. He's able to just go ahead, brush that off very quickly, get the reset, and then focus in for the next round.
Especially when you have Leaf and Tren as your teammates. You know, you can afford to have a few rounds here and there, Achilles, when you don't necessarily do what you want to do, because these two will just pick up the slack.
I mean, from the very outset, Leaf was pretty much dictating this entire map off the rip. I mean, he comes into this tournament, I rated him as the #1 player at this event because of what he's been able to do at Americas. But somebody that we didn't get to talk about too much leading into this series was Trent. And he's another one of those players that last year on G2, the runs at international events, was having a bit of a rough time. We weren't seeing those highs that we were getting from him when he was on the guard, but this is a fantastic way for him to kick off this series.
Well, Josh RT was pretty calm, so let's hear what Trace's coach, Destroyer, had to say ahead of map 2.
I'm here right now with Destroyer of Trace Esports and Vera to help with some translation. Now, there were so many rounds from Trace Esports that time that were so good. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough for G2. What did you tell the team in order to help them adjust going into the next map?
图一还是看到 T 有很多精彩的回合的，但是最后还是遗憾的没能拿下来。那在图二开始之前，你和队员们都说了什么来帮助他们做调整呢？
因为我感觉图一还是有很多局数可以拿下的，我觉得他们还是第一次就是有点紧张嘛，我只是跟他们说，放轻松，一定要做好自己。
So for map 1, actually I saw a lot of stage nerves for them. There are so many rounds that could have taken. So I just told them to chill, be yourself.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and we'll see if Trace can make a comeback.
I think he was completely right. We saw moments there from Feng Feng where he just looked so nervous, a little bit shaky.
To take over, especially on defense. He has so many rounds where he is trusted to solo anchor on this chamber and makes magic happen.
Yeah, I've been watching clips of him throughout the Americas kickoff, and he just gets away with murder round over round. The number of lurks, the timings that this guy is able to find are immaculate, and for Trace, they need to have a solid understanding of how Leaf likes to play the map if they want to be able to shut him down. That's where we've seen success in the past, like last year, where teams were able to take out G2.
Well, let's take a look at Agent Select here, because for Trace, they're going to shake things up a little bit, because Feng Feng will not play the Cypher. He's going to play the Omen here instead.
I really like this comp. It's caught on with teams, I think of Sentinels and Americas, who's running this double smokes comp. Biggest strength on attack is constantly being able to have 2 smokes up on mid and threaten lurks into that area. G2 in the final looked like they were having trouble sometimes dealing with mid control against Sen, so I think this is a very good pivot.
I just want to iterate that it's Feng Feng on Omen. This is so crazy. I don't understand why.
Even in the context of what we just witnessed on Lotus, I still really also like this pivot, because this allows Feng Feng to play something a little bit more passive. Kai was off to a hot start there on Lotus. Now that he shifts over to being the entry duelist, this could end up being a big boon for him as long as he can carry that performance forward now on Jet.
Crucially, he will still have agency to some extent playing on the Omen. He'll have opportunities to make plays into mid, so excited to see that one. But this is a comp G2 is familiar against. They've beaten it before.
Well, it's definitely not familiar for Feng Feng. He has never played the Omen before. He will be making his debut on this agent against G2. Pansy and Ender, what do you make of this?
I'm a little worried, but I hope my worries are just swept aside and they look fantastic. I'm glad there's adjustment, Ender. I'll say that much for sure. I'm happy that they've adjusted coming into this. Is it enough to topple G2? Contextually, I'm a little worried.
It's hard. I'm worried based on the results of game 1. I think in terms of agent select, I really like this direction.
Absolutely.
Coming into this, because Feng Feng had been playing the Cypher on this map with Kai on the Jet, I'm like, it's a little bit 2024 for my liking, you know? I'd like to see more Vi's, some Yoru coming in. So to see them not go for a Sentinel when Giacomo is going to be on the Yoru, which is just a Sentinel buster of an agent, I do like that Trace have mixed that up at least. By the way, Leaf does this all the time. The quick double hop can TP out, but Trace have done their homework.
Good map, and they get to kind of, approach this well here, Trace. Again, I'm trying to sell the picture. There's a real opportunity, and we're kind of seeing the double smokes towards middle, something that Desk was leaning towards, Mimi highlighting that was something that put a lot of pressure on G2. So now can Trace, though, live up to what they now have to do after these smokes?
Once again, forcing a teleport out. I really like how Trace have paced their way in here. Valen, though, look at that triple stun, and he is just feasting.
Oh, the theory in the world is lovely, but the execution is not there. G2 reading them like a book. They've been there, they've done this, they felt this pressure not all that long ago, and that spike could not be further away here.
I feel like G2 just have their few agents that they love, and they abuse them every single map. Like Yoru and Breach, for just this global pressure of the stuns and the teleports. It kind of can rock your world when you're just not ready. Like, how often are you getting Breach stunned all the way on top mid?
Again, I think this is where we are going to... I'm going to keep a real close eye on this. And Giacomo just... They're so confident in this too. You're seeing G2 looking kind of... Again, I don't know if you guys caught it on camera, but walking back out on stage, the crowd's behind them as well. They're kind of being a little bit of a showman here. They're starting to enjoy being on this stage too.
Valen was up there hyping them up, giving them the hearts. Definitely play that angle. Get the crowd on their side.
Oh, I like this. Good info early. Okay. See your odds at that. see it myself. So Trent there willing to kind of puff out the chest a bit, show presence. In this one, it feels like trying to just farm up those old orbs as best you can, see if you can... Oh, all good.
All good. Part of the plan. Bye-bye.
The crowd is absolutely baffled.
Do you think they slipped?
Would you like to explain that for the people at home?
No, not really.
Someone might need to explain it for the crowd, but it is just to deny as much as possible away from G2. We move on, nice and easy. There was no real opportunities there. It was just kind of classics. They gave it a little bit of a look and went, nah.
Yeah, I don't want any piece of that. Now, the important thing is, again, Trace have seemingly found themselves in this position where they consistently have regen shields going into round 3, and G2 have an Outlaw, instant kill. Guardian, I think, is another absolute light armor killer. That's 2 shots to the body, instantly going to be killing these Trace players. So they've got to be really clean on the entries, and importantly, Kai and Feng, the first people taking fights, are going to have Heavy to try and get into this site without being shot down.
Okay, one silver lining, most of them aren't where those weapons are. So, you know, all good. Uh-oh. See how Leaf does here. There's a nice little angle to play from.
Can't imagine Feng goes too aggro here before the smokes come in. At the same time, I do think it's important that... hold my breath for a moment.
What was that?
Yeah. I do like how Trace have sort of defaulted open into this A space.
You're being absolutely baited by watching this.
Leaf is cooking me right now. He was doing that in map 1 too. Not to me, but to Trace, but still.
God, if they head mid. You shouldn't be doing it in this round. So it looks like they're drifting back towards this A site. Super deep hold as well from Trent.
It's a bit odd. Trent very deep, but again, Jonah P actually now getting caught offside, so that stun will not be in range. If Trace snap on this exec, which they will.
Just instantly evacuate site. No worries. I like this really heads up work. They're going to get the information about this. That's fine. This should be a plant, and we're looking at the post-plant utility, we're looking at that retake potential. Yeah, then this is where maybe the Outlaw does get a little bit trickier, but Leaf's got about 40 weapons he can bank on, so no worries.
Yeah, I think it's most likely Leaf just goes and plays containment here, unless his team can find some openers into this A site. He's going to bust down that vent and try and find some way in.
Yeah, they're already getting pretty close here. They've made it pretty far out towards site. Kai needs to be ready for this. Trent's already got the trade. Kai does well to pivot around and turn on a dime, but Kai wants more, and that's a little too greedy for my taste. Trying to play out as best he can, potentially call up his own number. But now G2 have stepped on the site. Now we've got to look at this post plant. Where's that utility? Where's the pressure? Where's the kills? It's now down to just one. Jonah P in a 1v2. Surely Trace have done enough here. They have. With 2 alive, they get their first on the board.
Yeah, and Feng in the post plant there, finding a couple of kills on the agent swap. It was pandemonium in that post plant because there's just so many smokes going down onto the site. Actually allowed G2 to find a half stick, but Trace did a good enough job there playing off-site with those players in order to stop that one from slipping away.
Did get a little nervous when they made it out to backside so freely, but well played in the end between Hebe and kind of the swing on site from Kai. It was enough to at least get into this deeper post plant.
And you're going to end up seeing that a lot from Trace, sort of, you know, sending Kai in to find these fights into backside with the KO flash, but quick into this next round already. Trace trying to test the space into mid. So far, since the pistol, they've shown these smokes, but they haven't really moved into that space for fear of getting stunned and absolutely murdered again.
I think it's a fair fear to have.
Yeah, you generally want to avoid being murdered.
Thank you.
That's the optimal play.
Oh, got it.
And he's going to be fine. I do love that, though, jumping off the mount just to scout out window, because you never have an angle into window apart from that.
That's a lovely idea.
But G2 really try to abuse the double TPs they have on this map with the chamber and the Oru.
But also, you're talking about information here. We had that drone just coming out towards A main. It looks like a rinse and repeat round somewhat, at least if it continues towards this trajectory from Trace, right? It looks like an A finish potentially with hopefully in their minds Trent getting away from site. There is now an extra body here though that could buy time. I'm looking at Jonah P a little closer, dedicated towards Heaven, and Hebe's the one. Trent gets caught out that time. Surprised that he went for this. I thought he could have shifted back a little deeper, played like he did last time, but maybe they wanted that bit more space.
And now Trace in the post plant up numbers. Low King has that late round insurance into mid. I'm still looking back towards spawn. Will fall off after being flashed.
Kai, rinse and repeat, but it's Feng who is the new body here, the new player, and what a position from him! 3 back-to-back, big impact, and he can just drift away now. Leaf's got nothing to do in this one. As good as this man can be, a 1v5 post-plant with a kind of lingering around, you got nothing more to achieve.
That was a gnarly fight there. Fongfong's full blinded after the first kill. The second he gets vision back, instant headshot. That takes him down, spam through the smoke, no problem.
Leaf hop, skipping, and a jumping away from this, trying to keep what he can. But a really nice look from Trace so far. I like what we're doing. I like what we're seeing from them. They found room to work towards A here, right?
Yeah, and especially after that first round of playing A where they fell pretty much all offside except for Kai. Then to have this look where Fongfong's up in your face and they're just recycling smokes back towards spawn, playing right up flush with it. It's a really nice adjustment round around.
And we were kind of, I don't want to say discussing it, but we were kind of highlighting Jorgamo getting that info towards window, and then we saw kind of Trent opting to use the out drone over towards that A main side, and it still feels like they just didn't have the information. How deep Trace are sitting until it is that site hit time, there's just so many question marks.
And the big issue is, I honestly think Trent choked it a bit on that site hold, right? The shots didn't come in. Jonah P had actually stunned out Kai, who was diving into his back site, so Trent was supposed to have that timing to catch those players coming into site second and third, and he couldn't find it.
And again, Jonah P was the new body on the site. Last time around, it was Trent quite isolated from the others, and he had to fall back, as far as possible. I like the addition of Jonah P there. It's a real shame to not see it find that value, sadly, but I don't know if that's enough of a cure to the woes right now. Clearly, it's not, at least in G2's mind. They have pumped the brakes. They want to find a bigger, I guess, answer back here, but I don't know what the holistic answer is. Is it trying to get aggressive somewhere, take away some of the question marks, trying to... I don't know what they want to be looking like coming back into this, but this round's probably not where we're going to see it anyway.
Yeah, truthfully, it's just a B full-on fight. Leaf's got the hero rifle saved over, but I'd imagine Josh RT, he's very effective in the timeouts for G2, and I think he usually comes in and will plan out the next 2-3 rounds. Notice those trends he's seeing that G2 are going to try to abuse.
Okay, well this could be the third, and I say that after the first map being back and forth the whole way through, half buys, ecos, all going, the way it shouldn't, so maybe I'll have to eat my words again, maybe not. Lauking, that's lovely, looking beautiful, clean stuff, not getting threatened. That's what you want to see in these rounds. It's sheriffs against you. Something we didn't see in map 1 was that sort of composure.
Oh, no dash, Kai. He's gonna run it in, do it himself.
Good. I'm glad I brought up how clean this looks. They do manage to clear out Trent, and it should be 5 standing really nice. That's lovely for them. That's kind of what the doctor ordered, right? We want to see them looking good in this, like having a good opportunity to build some buffer to themselves, because map 1's got to have stung. That was the map you were meant to do well on, the one you had in your pocket for Trace. They need some stability here.
100%. And, now seeing that aggro look from G2, shutting that down. After playing more controlled early rounds, they've seen a lot of different styles. But now is where that timeout is going to come into play for G2. It's interesting to me that G2 didn't try to save up and get an operator online. I thought that was going to be the first thing they were going for. Instead, maybe just playing this A space a little bit more aggressively. G2 have been playing pretty deep on site, so this round, Jaw creeping into mid, Leaf creeping into main. Josh just said, hey, boys, take your fights.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I really don't mind it at all. You kind of want to allow players like, if you've got Joy out there, if you've got a Leaf out there, you kind of want them to be able to call up their own numbers as well, make these bigger plays. And you can see they've already identified, though, that Trent is clearly not on that A site anymore, right? They've just pinged him on the knife. They now know that he is certainly not where he was before.
But the knife's not in range to catch Jaw here. So Trace has to be real careful working into mid. First time they've seen G2 play it super aggressively, though, so I think they've got to know something's up.
Well, let's see how they kind of problem solve then, right? They've seen a different look here. This could be the kind of final blow to it, though. Does Leaf get cleared?
They've got a drone for it.
Does he care? No, he doesn't! He still takes Kai with him! Zero respect and a perfect play between the gaps on it.
And look at G2 seize this space into mid. 2 players walk out there. Jonah P is ready to reinforce. Leaf, who's now repositioned back into sight. Trace have nowhere to go but in.
Yeah, just spammed on and on and on here. They are still trying to go for this one. They've made it out towards site. Heaven controls there for Jonah P. You're looking at the back of the site with Leaf, very passive, waiting for that lurk to come in.
Fongfong has to be ready for it. They don't have Cypher, they don't have flank watch. They've got to win this fight back in main, or they're just going to get crunched.
That's 2 players. That's going to be so much, and Trent's so aware That's the backbone broken for this round. Now they try and fight forward, take the space towards CT, but Leaf heads up work. Really hard to dig out of that deeper position. He's just going to hold it safe, force them back on the fight, and G2 clearing house. They've had their answer. They found their cure to the woes, leaving Hebei as a formality to the outcome. G2 find the answer they needed.
I mean, that's just gorgeous, right? Leaf finding that opener, but then you watch it, like, G2 back away from the aggression. They read you like a book. 10 seconds before you think of the next play, they already know what you're going to do. So their weak side retracts, their aggro side speeds up. It's just that cross-map macro that I think G2 have really mastered. And that comes with keeping 4 players of your core roster year to year, bringing Jawgamo seamlessly into this team. It's what allowed them to dominate in Americas and really volatile offseason. And now you're seeing it on the international stage.
Now, I love seeing the operator coming out, though, for Kai. That's what I want to keep my eyes on. That's a big investment here. Because they've got to answer back, right? This is the game of kind of chess between these two. You've now got G2 showing the answer, and you've got a Jawgamo being confident. Middle has to respect it, though. Falls away. Leaf. That's a high-low swing coming here on the 3-2-1, I'm sure. And oh my god, he still divides and conquers! Where was the spacing on the second player up the ramp?
He's completely unstoppable. Doesn't matter if you have an op. I mean, that was supposed to be the trump card. Take down Leaf with the operator. Surely we can do that. But no.
You've got to be gutted if you're Kai as well. You still had, your owl drones. This was meant to be just purely to deal with the aggression coming out from Leaf that gets him that one-man pick, and it goes completely askew.
Yeah, now the problem is Junkie might need to throw the op off the map, right? Otherwise, either Jaw or Leaf could be taking that into the next. Your life's not going to get any easier.
G2, no. It doesn't feel like that A hit anymore. Already sitting ready for this B approach.
Yeah.
Jonah P very prepared here.
I wonder if they're committing all their ults. Trace, that's one down. Maybe another to send in a 4v5. It's just falling apart.
But G2 carved the perfect place to play from. It's just stunning to witness. They know the win conditions the Trace would have wanted, what was available and what wasn't. But the plant, going to be denied for now. Not going to come down. Hunter's Fury on top. And Trent just blind, sending that perfect. Hebei and Loking, what are you meant to do here? That's what you're meant to do. Fight your way forward. But it's a 1v2, and time is not on your side. Leaf makes sure of it, and G2 back with a 4th.
The op fails for G2 in main. Leaf shuts it down, and then kind of a half-measured approach from Trace into the site. Yeah, they're going to use the Astral, but they don't want to commit any more than that into the play, down in numbers, and probably a good thing, too, the way that G2 are just taking those little angles around the smokes. Trent's ultimate, too, just precise, pixel perfect.
But I'm happy to see this timeout here, because kind of when we discussed the switch up from G2s, where we saw Leaf kind of his new position towards A, the pressure through middle from Jorg, and it didn't feel like Trace could come up with the answer on the fly here, right? They haven't found that solution they wanted. They haven't quite found the look. Time to pump the brakes, chat it through, see what they've got coming up, because they've got plenty of ults to play with. If they've got a trump card coming up, hey, why not play it? Whatever you've got, let's see if we can lean back into that, because otherwise I get worried that G2 starts stringing rounds together, that momentum starts to build, their ults come on for themselves, it's all going to be an absolute nightmare. So good timing hopefully here for Trace to check back in and find their answer to this new problem that's basically Leaf.
Yeah, and I genuinely hope it's not this simple to read, but Trace, when they've got the knives ready to go, they really like running AXX, where they sort of glide off over onto the right-hand side. They've got really heavy exec ultimate, so I would not be surprised if they moved in that direction, but I think G2 will just read that.
Are you telling me that if you know it, G2 might know it?
I think so. Genuinely, like, my read on how G2 were going to prep against Trace on Lotus is kind of how that map played out on the attack and defense side. And now, it looks like G2 want to take this A main fight once again.
Wonder where Leaf's positioning on this one. He's expecting it. Trent already kind of testing the waters here. This feels quite similar, but I mean, it's a very straightforward approach. It looks just straight out of main.
Trent's down on site. G2 aren't giving this one up at all.
Wait, how's Trent sticking around on this? Yeah, Funko might be in real trouble here. What on earth?
This is weird.
Oh, this is bizarre. Yeah, Trent, I'm pretty sure was blind during this. What is this massacre happening on the site? Back and forth, but this time, G2 unwilling to relent on it. And the last player looking is just lurking up middle. And it feels like with this silence becomes deafening, it's so obvious that he's not with the pack, that this potential flank is now on the way.
Players are isolated, that's the only real hope, but it's a kind of a nasty off angle. Valorant's playing up towards heaven, now he's made noise.
Okay.
I mean, look, Jaw's a little bit low.
I'm on board. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
And okay, that round was crazy. We're gonna see in the replay. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
what just went on?
I think Trace paused and timed a pop flash through the smoke as it was coming down. But yeah, so we're flashed and now the smoke is gone and we're in. But G2 had just already rotated so many players over because Trace paused and waited that 10 seconds before going for the forward fight.
Down A. One enemy.
That can't be the answer. That can't be the answer, boys.
And that's a round where they had every ult in the book and they didn't use any of them.
Huh.
I think Trace were expecting the site to kind of just be empty because, you know, G2 were going to retake against those ults, but that's not at all how it played out.
High hopes and great outcomes. 5-3. You're going to hear the ult being invested. That's, of course, with Leaf over towards A. It does free up the rest of the players to kind of focus towards middle and still keep that eye towards B, which it actually looks like Trace are heading towards. So, if anything, working out quite nicely for G2 here, but let's see how they hold this side of the map.
We've only really seen Trace move towards B on the anti-ecos or frantically later into a round.
Yeah.
This is a good read to test this, see what the hold's going to be like, but sending that ultimate in early, this is the round where G2 have nobody actually home on the site.
And again, I don't mind people playing off site on this one. I really don't. Play for that retake, you got so much to bank on, why not? They haven't really had to depend on these ults either. Yeah, we had Leaf kind of going for his, that's fair enough. That's player's preference, but already Jorgamo going to invest, that's fine, clear close. That's 2 spotted, big info, Divide going to go in, and all the ults on top. Good luck, have fun, we're away. Jorgamo hungry on the hunt.
And he's out?
I don't know how he's done that. I don't know how he does this.
And they're defusing too with Trent coming in on the flank. I mean, Trace, they have to stop this spike from being defused, but the flank has come in. Trent is destroying Trace in the back lines. A beautiful round put together by G2. Just take Trace right on out of it.
That was just perfect from G2 there. Again, the ult so stunning, and Jorgamo just feels like perfectly controlled chaos. Right? I don't know how he does this. Look at
that
it.
play, and then he just jumped back through the wall. He's fighting in again with his flash. But this is what I'm talking about. G2 play like macro timing so well. When Jaw's going for that refight, 2 seconds later, Trent is then shooting them in the back. It's that combination that is just so hard to play against, especially for the first time.
Yeah, spot on. And this is 4 rounds now. This is all looking a little too comfortable for G2. I wanted that threat. I wanted to see that potential from Trace that a lot of people were excited for. And this expectation, this read in the game, no, it's just falling to bits, isn't it? The confidence just getting higher and higher. G2 looking like they can't miss a fight.
The second Leaf pulls the attention of 3 players, that's when Jaw takes the timing. That's when he snaps into mid.
Dangerous little 1-2 punch they are.
Especially playing the cheater agents, you know? Just TP. I mean, look, Leaf's full flashed, he's droned, he's whatever, and he's just out. It's frustrating to play against because you have to use the util to clear him, but then you have to stop moving because you didn't actually kill him.
This pause feels so blindingly obvious. Oh, Bianche has to kind of get out of that one. And again, they commit close towards sight. This position, we saw it taken before. I think it was Trent here last time. This time around, Jonah P finding the pixel to play from. It's lovely from Trent. Swings on in, and that confidence stays sky high. Bianche, the last one to try and pull off a 1v3. It ain't happening. G2 looking so large and in charge here. They look so damn good.
G2 got punished a couple of times trying to retake the A site, and they've never tried to play retake since rounds 3 and 4 when Trace won on those post plants. That's probably an adjustment that came in from Josh RT in the timeout, you know, around 5 when they lost that eco as well, but you've got a dart landing, you've got Jonah P jumping onto site. They're not going to let you through that choke point.
They are genuinely a treat to watch right now. This is genuinely very good Valorant from G2. I'm enjoying what we're witnessing, and we kind of, I kind of held them to a high standard here. I wanted to see big things from this team. If you're going to be that high tier, stand up to the test. Jorgamo again, absolute control, chaos, 3 big kills, and this man is just something else. Looking, have fun.
Dude, it looks like he's playing ranked.
It's
like You're not supposed to be jumping there in professional play.
And not getting 3, not getting away with it time and time again. How many rounds is this man going to get under their skin? God. And you feel for him almost for Trace. They're not getting off these starting positions, right? Like, look at this. God.
Playing fearless. You even thinks he kills Bianca. Is like, I'll deal with you later.
Come back around.
Get the second one first. Just wild. But genuinely, think of the shift this team had. Between round 4 and 5, Josh calls the timeout. Okay, you throw away the eco round. Since then, they have been undefeated on this side.
Standing ahead. Really can't compliment that enough. They've been able to, one, adjust in this game, and adjust so well that there's barely been an answer. Trace can't come up with what they want to be doing to deal with this, and there's layers of adaptation now.
You can see the actionables too, right? Whether it's refusing to play a retake, flood into sight, whether it's abusing this mid space. We saw Jaw do it 3 rounds in a row. Now Leaf's here with an operator.
This is an unexpected one. They may still clear this with Util because of that presence from Jorg previously, but you've still got Leaf.
Yeah.
With the the big green basically at this point. What are you meant to do? Like, how are you meant to clear this in any sort of way?
He's in front of the wall.
He is. Oh, another body drops. Hey-Bay, the one to be punished this time. And Trace have to keep going. They have to keep trying to fight forward. They do find Leaf on his almost greedy re-peek, and this play back towards A.
That's huge, because they have the spike plant now. Really good stuff out of Kai, but you've got flanks on flanks coming from G2. Kai still playing into that mid space, but he's cleared by Jaw.
Jorg, are you going to do this to him again? Yeah, you are. You're going to try and set him up for success. Kai, can you get away with your life? No, you can't! The King of Chaos is back in the building! Jorgamo is just tearing him apart one by one. This time he's stopped. Finally a 3v3. Time is on their side until then. Just turned away.
Loking was so deadly from backside back when Trace were winning their rounds. He's got to show up in a big way because it's him against the world.
Oh, Fung Fung a 1v3. He's got pressure left, right, and center. G2 just sophisticated dominance at this point. That's a 9-3 scoreline, and that is G2 in prime form here.
Red Bull gives you wings.
कुमार साहब, फैमिली के लिए आप घर बना रहे हो, सोना जमा कर रहे हो, पैसे भी जोड़ रहे हो, मतलब विरासत के लिए इतना सब। लेकिन ये विरासत अधूरी रह गई तो और क्या करूं? कोटक लाइफ के टर्म इंश्योरेंस प्लान। कोटक लाइफ, विरासत बन के ही रहेगी।
Get the convenience of Honda Connect anytime, anywhere with the all-new Honda Amaze, here to outclass.
And it feels like this first half has highlighted how faithful to their expectations G2 have been. A 9-3 scoreline is incredibly strong here. I don't know what more to say. If you're Trace on the other side, what are you meant to do at this point? Map 1, you felt there was a chance. Here, this feels like a different world.
Yeah, it's a hard situation. You're going into the defense side of Abyss. That said, though, me personally, I do think G2 on every map skew towards the defense side. I think the really important thing is making sure Kai can get an operator online early. Round 3 or 4, it doesn't look like they're saving to guarantee an op. If you save 400 creds on pistol, you can always get that round 3 op, even if you're losing and getting no kills. That said, though, I want to make sure he can have that, because I think if he can't be finding openers with the operator, G2, they're looking way too clean. They're going to run you over.
Pressure half here for Trace. G2, you can see it on their faces, looking calm, looking like they're having fun right? Starting to come alive on these stages, looking really, really solid here. And rightly so after that first half. You should be proud of what you've achieved. Trace, it starts with a pistol round. Nice little high-low set on towards A. Can they hold what's coming towards them, though? Oh, no, the timing. Okay, Heybei has to just get out of there, leave Woking to his own devices. Oh, it's divide and conquer. G2 never stopped looking this good. Oh, Valen! Peekaboo! VANK gonna be feeling that one in the morning as Kai and Fung Fung, you got a long way to go back towards A.
There's just not even a fight put up there. Dropping like flies. Yeah, Fung Fung and Kai, those are your playmakers, those are your fighters, but with G2 bundled up 5 players in A main, it's just hard to imagine a world where it can happen. Smoke's gonna go down, but I mean, look at the utility.
Jesus! Oh, that's a real souring moment to see that in this round. Valen and Leaf just dive on in. It's a team effort at this point. That's already 10 found, and if we were being honest, you kind of wanted to see them pick up that pistol, so it gives them just maybe a breath before the game gets closed out.
It's grim here on the defense side, but you might have to go for a force of your Trace.
Yeah, I want to see what they go for here, because you're going to run it back the whole way.
Are you going to win on 13-11? I don't know. Or at the very least, channel some of that eco nonsense from Lotus.
What just happened?
Get yourself back into things.
What just happened?
Right there. It's a bad news when the coach that is crushing you doesn't know how his team is winning.
This just stars aligning, all good, no problems. We do see they opted for a very light investment of 2 Sheriffs, and that's it.
Unfortunately, the Sheriffs are mid and B right now.
And once again, G2 actually do get stopped at least with Plant. So, you know, we're talking sort of small silver linings. Maybe some of these flanks can come in a little bit quicker.
We'll ignore it that it's a 5v4 now for them.
Let me find hope.
Yeah, that's why we're ignoring it.
Got it, fair enough.
I'm on your side, no sarcasm detected.
I'm not used to that. Oh, well, the hope's fading quickly, isn't it? Kai, show me something. Get me back on board. Make me a believer right now. I kind of need something to give us a spark here. Valen is on the case, and he ain't dropping it. I mean, it's done for, right? Yeah. We're already up to 11. This is really hard, Val, now. For Trace, you're purely back to the wall, and you've got to somehow get through this game without Leaf having a round, Jorg having a round. I mean, list the roster.
Yeah, we forget that Trent was completely dominating on the first map, 23-11. Just snuck up on us out of nowhere.
Okay.
Similarly impressive performance on this map.
I shot around that guy.
But oh dear, Leaf has an outlaw, and there's 5 light/regens on Trace.
Okay. We'll see. Maybe it's fine. Kai, having a go. Don't drop this Vandal though, because it's really valuable. Nice work towards Shaw. Gonna get that. Doesn't need to overstay here. He's got his man. He can just shift back a little.
Now's when Leaf is going to try to work this space. As soon as that smoke goes
Pixel.
down.
He's God, that feels so scary up against these light shields.
A sigh of relief now. Leaf's been spotted. Trace can slow down this round. BNK gonna have to fall back into heaven after getting pinged out by that drone. But G2 aren't committing into the site. They've read that there's a stack over towards this angle. They're gonna put full faith in Leaf to have a second go of things.
Bite of the cherry waiting towards B. There is rotations coming in though. The penny is dropping. Trace don't like this.
That's a good
It's
read
gone
from Trace.
far too quiet. Oh my god, Leaf is seeing him just like a second too late every time, but he's getting closer and that scares me. And that's why Loking got curious and you heard what happened to the cat and now they're falling. And you're gonna walk that smoke? No, 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 Amy!
It's all going wrong!
This is a nightmare coming to life here. They had the start they needed. They took down Jorgmo, they had good rotations, the right place. Leaf wasn't having that freedom, it was good. Now suddenly it's gone sour, down to 2, BNK and Kai. Up against it. Deep post-plant, Trent still with those shock darts as well. Kai trying to be set up here. BNK trying to send him in, give him a chance of anything, and Leaf. He said, no, this is 12. And that is not how you wanted to see them get to 12 either. Trace are going to be gutted with that one. I feel like the pressure got to them there. It was
absolutely
unnecessary mistakes almost.
They had the numbers right, and then it turns into this situation where, well, Lokeng swinging into Leaf, trying to find his pick. Then Heibei feels like he has to do the same thing because now the site's falling apart, the pressure's on you. You know G2 are up on map point. And it hurts as well because Kai had a great shot at the start.
Yeah.
He was starting to feel himself get back into this game, something like that.
Oh man, this is a rotten timeout too. Just so you know, the timeout has hit here for Trace. Burning this, you can see the frustration and even the elation on the other side. Probably curious that they got away with it. That one.
Yeah,
I wonder what was said. But at 12-3. This is what we're saying. It was going to only ever take G2 or one of the G2 players to have that round, to have that one moment we had big impact. We weren't even accounting for the pressure that was going to be put on Trace to not make any mistakes. And one mistake kind of opened up a big key part of that round, and that's got to feel horrific now trying to face this. None of them even broken double digits kill-wise. This has been a one-sided affair here.
Yeah, and honestly, it felt like the first half of Lotus was really competitive,
Absolutely.
very tight. Could have even ended 6-6, just lost that final round on time. But since that second half, G2 have really locked in, and I don't think Trace has been able to really piece together the answers. It's been a while since we've seen Trace on a stage. Played much further back in China than all of the other international leagues. Made some adjustments coming into the matches today. Role swap for Fong Fong on this map onto the Omen. Off of the Cypher, but those pieces haven't really turned into anything substantial for them up against some tournament favorites in G2.
And you can look at the state of this buy. Look at it. No armor on Kai. Guardian out. Nothing there to supplement it. This is brutal to try and hold on to here. G2 on the verge of a very clean map. And they stick the landing.
I don't know if G2 blowing up mid was going to be on my bingo card coming out of that timeout, but actually maybe even just doing a bit of fake. They threw that Astra smoke down, had that teleport noise, so Trace knows something's funky is going down, but really G2, they're just going to have a free B site to get this plant down on.
Hey, red carpet's rolled out. Perfect. All on the retake.
After the plant, Trent's just going to be one off ultimate as well, so G2 could just fall back and play a rolling post.
I love that Leaf still has his position, no threat of the lurk. Doesn't have to stick around too long. Jorgamo already going to take away Fung Fung. Leaving just 3, and Kai copping a boatload of damage. Again, no shields to bank on here. Jonah P feeling confident, having a little go at things. Keeping them spammed out, keeping them down. Under the heel, G2 just need one more man, and they got it. Clean work. Playing to their own expectations, their own caliber, and crush any chance of this underdog story today.
That's the debut every G2 fan wanted to see. Coming in to Bangkok here with higher expectations than they have ever had, right? Coming in as the first seed out of Americas, the huge signing of Jogamo in the offseason. Started off a little bit wobbly in that first half of Lotus, but after that completely cruised through here. And Leaf has just continued his reign of terror since kickoff.
Leaf looked exceptional today, and to kind of touch base on Trace here as well. Map 1, there was chances. There were moments where we could have had genuinely a little bit of a closer game in my mind, but map 2 was all theirs. G2 look a cut above, really looked a cut above, played like the favorites. I know a lot of people were looking for a potential upset here, and G2 are having absolutely none of it.
Absolutely, no, and I just love how calm Valen is looking up there, right? He's playing up to the crowd. In comms, we heard him as well, keeping it chill, you know, making sure the team takes things slow, doesn't overhype, which can be easy to do when your chamber player only dies 4 times in an entire map.
God, looking at that, yeah, bloody hell. This is a dangerous team.
Look at that, Trent too. The crowd loves him.
Yeah, hearts and minds being won out here. And again, this has been a tournament already of some very close games. A lot of regions being pressured here. A lot of favorites being put under the gun a little, but today G2, as said, didn't look that threatened. Yet map 1 had its moments, a 13-8 eventual scoreline, but this was something else. I mean, that one timeout basically put G2 back fully in control.
Yeah, lost the immediate eco round and then 1 out from there on. Obscene. This is when the highlight reel starts for G2 after a couple of sweet rounds. Lokeng and Fong Fong. G2 just started working the map up against them, finding every timing too.
Just watching this back, I'm so impressed with this team. again, I get to watch it as a viewer. I don't get to cast it, but seeing them here, they genuinely are really goddamn scary.
Oh yeah, and it's a lot of different things that are terrifying. Because first you have the individual ability, especially on the double TP agents as well. John, the Yoru, finding his timings, Leaf dominating space in A main. I mean, Leaf just insta-headshot an op that was peeking him, didn't mind. But also their macro calling, what Valen and Josh RT have created in this G2 culture, just puts a leash on their star players when they need to, but also allows them to take those timings and get their kills when they need.
No, they do seem genuinely like the full package. That's what scares the life out of me for the other teams. It's like, hey, maybe we can ante, maybe get a good read, maybe get a good idea, but it's the individuals that can then step up. But speaking of individuals, you don't want to miss this one. We've got the Verizon post-match interview with the big man himself, Jorgamo.
ก็กลับมาแล้วนะครับทุกคนกับผู้เล่นคนนี้ครับที่หลายๆคนน่าจะรู้จักครับ Ladies and gentlemen, please give another round of applause for Jorgamo. All right, let's get into it. First question, okay? I mean, we know that you have a lot of background, a lot of history, and a lot of people know you for being the world champion once, right? Does that put any pressure on you in this tournament?
Oh, no pressure. My teammates are just as good as me, and everybody that I play with, and our coaches too. I mean, all of us are surrounding us is just like amazing.
Wow, that's great. สำหรับคำถามแรกนะครับก็ถามไปว่าการที่เคยเป็นแชมป์โลกในปี 2023 นะครับผมส่งผลอะไรทำให้เขากดดันหรือเปล่ากลับกลายเป็นว่าบอกว่าไม่มีความกดดันอะไรเลยนะครับเพราะว่าเพื่อนร่วมทีมรวมถึงโค้ชด้วยเนี่ยโหบอกเลยว่าสบายใจมากและทุกคนสู้อย่างเต็มที่ไปพร้อมกัน And the next question, I love the fact that you answer it this way because my next question deals with your team. But let me ask it in Thai first. สำหรับคำถามต่อไปนะครับก็คือว่าอยากรู้ว่าเส้นทางของเขากับ G2 เป็นอย่างไรบ้างจนมาถึงตอนนี้นะครับผม I just want to ask you, man, like how has your journey been so far with G2 Esports?
Oh, I love this org. This is my favorite org so far. I mean, it's my second team, but I already know this is where it's at.
โอ้โหก็ถือว่าบอกเลยนะครับว่ายังไงผมก็รักทีมนี้มากๆนี่คือทีมที่ผมรักมากๆจริงๆและนี่คือทีมที่ใช่ทั้งเพื่อนทั้งโค้ชทุกคนยอดเยี่ยมมากจริงๆครับผม and that would be it let's give another round of applause for Jorgamo wow let's do one more question
okay
right because I do believe that we've interviewed before. I want to know how has your journey been so far in Thailand? How has Thailand been so far? I mean, there's so many fans supporting you.
Yeah, I mean the tuk-tuks. I love the tuk-tuks. Every time I hop in the tuk-tuk, we have the speaker blowing with the subwoofers, and I mean, that's our team bonding right there. Simple as that.
That's your team bonding.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. ก็ถามนะครับว่าประเทศไทยเนี่ยมาถึงแล้วเป็นยังไงบ้างเนี่ยเขาบอกว่าโอ้โหเจ๋งมากนะครับผมตุกๆนี่คือที่ที่เขาไปเหมือนไปทำความรู้จักไปตีสนิทกับทีมตัวเองมากขึ้นเอาเป็นอย่างนั้นไปถือว่าตุกๆเราก็ดึงดูดชาวต่างชาติได้เหมือนกันเนาะ All right anyways Jorgamo so happy for your victory as well congratulations but it seems like all the Thai fans here they all really want to take photos of you want to say hi of course some wants your autograph I'll leave you to our Thai fans right here but in the meantime we do have something else for you. At the moment, congratulations again. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
All right. Guys, this is not it. We do have more coming up. And because this is the end of the second day, we are now with our beloved Victoria.
Hello. Yeah, we're going to start the draw show for the round 2 of Swiss.
All right.
So the order that I'm going to do this, I'm going to draw the first participant of these 2 matches and then their opponent after. And then I'll move to the 0-1 teams and we'll do that. I will say as far as schedule, it's not going to be locked. But since G2 did play the second match today, they will play the second match tomorrow by default. We're not going to make them do second match first
Got
match.
it.
So.
แล้วก็ขออนุญาตแปลนิดนึงนะครับผมก็จะเป็นการจับดรอเนาะแล้วก็ในเมื่อ G2 เนี่ยได้เล่นแมตช์ที่2วันนี้ก็จะถูกเหมือนบังคับไปเล่นแมตช์ที่2วันพรุ่งนี้ด้วยแต่อย่างไรก็ตามนะครับผมถ้าเกิดว่าใครสงสัยเรื่องตารางเนี่ยก็สามารถไปเช็คในเว็บไซต์ทีเพราะออเดอร์หรือว่า ลำดับในการจับเนี่ยจะไม่ใช่ว่าเล่นแมตช์ไหนเสมอไปเนาะเพราะฉะนั้นก็ติดตามดูด้วยครับ and yes that was it for now please continue and because I believe all the fans are super excited already
Yeah.
all right
So out of our 1-0 teams, the first match we will have EDG.
EDG
All right, the first team for the other 1-0 match.
1-0 อีกทีมหนึ่งนะครับผม
Have
oh
DRX.
DRX นะครับ Do you have any teams you would like to see against EDG?
All of them.
All of them. Great answer, Victoria.
And EDG's opponent will be.
I see the fans are requesting. Oh! All right. For those of you watching at home, ใครที่ดูอยู่ที่บ้านนะครับ the fans were screaming out their favorite teams at this point as well. And the last but not least, Vitality.
Maybe. Oh. All right. So those are set. Again, G2 will play second tomorrow. So DRX Vitality will be first.
All right. Vitality will be first.
Correct.
นะครับ
DRX, yeah.
ครับผมก็สำหรับแมตช์แรกนะครับก็จะเป็นทีม Vitality ที่จะไปเจอกับ DRX นั่นเองนะครับผม
All right, we'll move to the 0-1 teams.
ตอนนี้มาอยู่ที่ 0-1 นะครับผมทีมอีกแร็กเก็ตหนึ่งครับทีม Liquid นะครับผมออกมาทีมแรกเลย
All right. And for the other match,
and the match ที่ 2 T1 นะครับ
and TL will face.
Who will it be? Sentinels? Oh! We're on fire here, guys. ละครับและทีมสุดท้ายที่จะต้องไปเจอกับ T1.
There you go.
Trace Esports will be facing T1 on the second round.
Yes, and the
Yes.
second match day, the order of those matches is still TBD. So we'll figure that out.
ครับผมก็สำหรับลำดับในแมตช์นะครับว่าจะเล่นอะไรตอนไหนก็เดี๋ยวเราแจ้งอีกทีก็ติดตามทางเพจโซเชียลมีเดียของเราได้ต่างๆเนาะ But yeah, thank you so much, Victoria. This is already very, very exciting.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's some of the best teams we've had. So very, very excited.
For sure. Anyways, thank you so much, Victoria, for all of this. And ตื่นเต้นไหมก่อน ตื่นเต้นไหม ดีมากครับ ก็ anyways, I think that is enough for us today. This is already very exciting. I'm looking forward to like watching all of this in the next couple of days. But guys, this would be it for now. I really, really want to thank all of you who's coming here into the stadium at UOB Live in Bangkok, Thailand, and as well as all of you who's watching back at home. And at this point in time, this is day 2 of Masters. I really, really appreciate all of you guys sticking with us until now. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you very much, guys. ขอบคุณครับ
Oh, what a jaw show that was. Okay, we have a lot to unpack here. I'm personally very excited for Liquid Sentinels. What about you guys? What's the one that you're excited about?
I mean, EDG G2 is sick. G2 who looked so good that last map there, playing against the reigning world champion. You got Jojumo up against Kong Kong. That should be sick.
That's a huge one. I think both of those, 1-0 team
We know
matches
what
that we
he's
have
gonna say, yeah.
are incredible. I mean, DRX versus Vitality, it's a scary one. Look, I'm going to be honest. I mean, Vitality didn't have necessarily the cleanest showing here today. I think that they did get dragged down a little bit in that series versus T1. Wasn't kind of the level of performance that I was expecting from them, but they are a team that can obviously just switch it on. So DRX, it's going to be a really tough opponent for them, but I can't wait to watch it.
Okay, it might still happen as the tournament goes on, but I'm just so sad that we're robbed of Kong versus Durka again. They've never played against each other. I feel like at some point I want to see them play against each other.
Okay, here you go. I got it for you. Vitality loses the DRX. EDG loses the G2. They play against each other in the 1-1 draw.
Oh, shut
Boom.
up, Seth.
You finally get the matchup that you so desperately wanted.
Shut up,
a devious 1-1 matchup. Or we just get it in playoffs. Maybe the happier outcome.
I think that's what I would like. But of course, the winners will be playing first tomorrow, so you guys can see the schedule here. We will start with DRX versus Vitality, which is crazy, and then followed by EDG versus G2. Any early doors predictions? Because you guys are not on the desk with me tomorrow.
I'm off, and I'm going to be watching from my hotel room screaming, probably. So to my neighbors on the 25th floor, sorry. DRX, I think that they have what it takes to be able to win this one. I think they've gotten to sit back. They should have anticipated that Vitality was likely going to be their opponent, and they would have to do less prep against T1, or, you know, anyway.
Just only prepping for less? That's a bit weird, no? Sorry.
Anyway. Boo! Boo.
Sorry.
I think if Vitality is a team that they're going to have taken the closest look at coming into this, because everyone has had them so very high up.
Sure.
So I think that they've already probably got a decent foundation.
Predictions?
Predictions? Vitality G2. I'm going with my tournament favorites.
Oh.
All the way through.
Okay, and I think
they're both in crazy close games, though.
I think you'd be in the majority for that. I will be here tomorrow, so I'll tell you guys my predictions tomorrow. Thank you very much, Kilios and Mimi, for joining me, and thank you to you guys at home for watching. Make sure you come back and join us, starting with DRX versus Vitality. We'll see you tomorrow. We have a lot of returning legends onto this stage right now. Champs winner, Masters winner, Locking winner, you name it, we have got it. This is